Before we start the show today, I want to make sure you all know about the next Wellness Center Creators Workshop coming up next Tuesday, July 26th. Today, July 19th, is the last day to register, and you can sign up to attend live or receive the recording. If you do want the recording, pre-registration is still required by today, so jump on it. The workshop is called Developing Your Collaborative Leadership Team, and it's all about finding ways to sustainably stop wearing all the hats in your business and how to find, retain, and nurture amazing leaders on your team. So if you need this information now or in the future, go ahead and register today. If you're able to attend live via Zoom, I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday, July 26th at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. And all of the sign-up information will be in the show notes. As health and wellness providers, we know that better patient outcomes require a whole person, multidisciplinary approach that we just can't provide on our own. That's why I've started the Wellness Center Creators podcast. I'll be bringing you interviews with experts, tips, tricks, secrets, resources, systems, and solutions so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And creating your wellness center won't feel like starting over. Welcome back, everyone, to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. Today, we have Caitlin Wilson joining us. Caitlin is a true believer that every experience, lesson, and moment in life happens for a reason. She began her passion with natural healing about 18 years ago after she was diagnosed with an illness at age 18 that kept her from living a young, active lifestyle. A blessing in disguise, it proved to be a positive detour to her future. After turning her health around with nutrition, homeopathic remedies, and infrared light therapy, she went on to study holistic nutritional healing at Nutritional Therapy Association. Following a year of traveling Central America, working in the business world for 5 years, she then took a leap of faith into her career by going into business with Edna Ness in 2013, which quickly evolved into Inlight Hyperbarics, located here in the heart of downtown Vancouver, Washington. Welcome, Caitlin.
Hi, Kendall. Thanks for having me today.
So what is hyperbarics? Tell us, what is hyperbaric oxygen therapy? How do you describe it?
So hyperbaric oxygen therapy, the short version, is basically a way to breathe air under pressure. So one would get inside of a chamber type of apparatus. We have soft shell chambers, hard shell. There's many different versions. But what it is you are inside a chamber breathing in air that's pressurized. So it changes the atmospheric pressure, which then allows more oxygen absorption into the fluids and tissues of your body that may have been deprived prior. So basically allows your body to absorb oxygen at a deeper level and then promote healing.
Amazing. So
yeah.
Why did you get into this industry in the first place? I think as healthcare providers, as wellness providers, I love hearing people's why. And I think in business, our why is so important. So if you're open to sharing.
Absolutely. So my background, if you go back about, 17, 18 years now, I had a compromised immune system myself. So I struggled a lot trying to get well. I was very young, between 16, 18 years old, my early 20s. I got into naturopathic healing. So the alternative world really opened up my eyes, and that you can take your power back and you can heal from the inside out. So I was really passionate about that for a long time. And I had come across infrared light therapy, which is another modality that we offer at our clinic. And it's where we started. My business partner and I ended up joining forces in 2013 because we were so passionate about light therapy. She had been using it for a few years already, and it changed my health around. Just the simplicity of using light for healing. And I didn't understand it back then at all. It made no sense to me, but it worked and it got me unstuck. My immune system got better, my energy levels, mild depression, as you can imagine, comes with not being well. And so I learned about it and went all in. Edna and I joined forces in 2013, like I said, went into business, and we were just educating people about light therapy, getting it in the hands of physicians as well as home users. And then fast forward a year, we came across the modality hyperbaric oxygen just by chance. It wasn't something I was seeking out. I didn't understand it. And it was introduced to us at a time that Edna was actually going through a rough patch in her health. And she had taken on, long story short, a 220-volt shock that damaged some nerves in her arms all the way throughout her body. And it also increased the migraines that she was already dealing with. And so the concept of being able to absorb oxygen into our bodies for healing made sense to us. And for her brain, she knew she needed healing. And so we actually were down at a light therapy conference in Cancun, Mexico, and came across this chamber. And the doctor that had it there had designed how to utilize light inside of the chamber. So that made sense to us, having light therapy and oxygen at the same time. And we didn't have a plan. We didn't have the finances for it or any idea what we were doing, but we ended up buying that demo chamber in Cancun, bringing it home through customs. I know, through customs security, carting it through the LAX airport. I'll never forget it. And we brought it home. Again, soft shell chamber, so it's portable. And Edna set it up in her home. And she started to do her series. And so that's another conversation piece is people always wonder, how many times do I do it? How often do I need to do hyperbarics? But really it's doing a consistent everyday commitment for a short while in order to get change. And she did what we call our 40-hour protocol, which is 40 dives as close together as possible. And the reason is because we look at it as a supplement. So the more that you can keep your body oxygenated in a close time frame, the faster healing will happen. And within 20 sessions, her migraines were completely gone. And we were just like, wow, miracle. We knew that if she got her healing, we would want to share it with our community and really the world as well. So we got a small little space on 16th and Broadway 8 years ago now, and quickly grew from 1,500 square feet to 4,500 in our clinic. And we now offer 6 chambers. We have 3 soft shell chambers, 3 hard shell chambers, and many types of light therapy modalities, an infrared sauna. You name it, we most likely have it.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
So, yeah.
So it sounds like HBOT can help a ton of symptoms, a ton of different issues, a lot of diagnoses. But if you had to choose one thing or one thing that it solves for people or the most common thing that it solves, what would that be?
Yeah. So to narrow it down, I'd say the top one that stands out to me the most is I'm going to pick inflammation. We've all got some sort of inflammation brewing in our system, whether it's chronic inflammation over the years or simply acute, a new injury of any kind. Inflammation and pain. It all comes down to that because everything's related to that. And the more inflammation we have in our system, the less likely our body is able to heal and regenerate at the cellular level. And oxygen gives your cells that energy to do what it knows how to do. Your body wants to heal. It wants to be healthy. And so it's just all about changing the environment within and allowing it to happen. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Inflammation all over the board.
And I think that is so relatable to so many of us. And a lot of our listeners are health and wellness providers who are opening wellness centers or they're expanding their wellness centers. So I wonder if you could speak to them a bit about how to integrate HBOT into a wellness center and how you see that being integrated with other holistic healing modalities.
Absolutely. That's honestly what I'm most passionate about. We do in-house services, but another part to our business is we also set up chambers, whether it's in one's home or in their clinic. And incorporating hyperbaric oxygen into your clinic, no matter if you are a chiropractor, massage therapist, a naturopathic physician, acupuncturist, it goes hand in hand with everything that's offered. It'll never take away from one's practice. It's only going to allow you to gain more because basically if somebody's coming in for chiropractic care, if they're able to also incorporate hyperbarics into their regimen, it's going to get their inflammation levels down, and therefore their chiropractic adjustment is going to go a lot smoother, and they're going to get quicker change over time. So it's very easy to incorporate. Obviously, it's a new modality, so it's all about education, how to use it, how to put people in, and that's something that Edna and I have always offered as part of Inlight Hyperbarics. If one were to buy a chamber from us, we always do the setup, the training, the follow-up, and we're always available for support.
Wonderful.
So, yeah. Does that help answer that question?
It does. It does. I wonder if there's one kind of that first step if a wellness center owner wanted to learn more about incorporating HBOT, or, is there a place where they can find conferences near them or things like that? If there's a resource you can share.
Yeah. So we, for one, are a huge resource. Again, if you're local to downtown Vancouver area, obviously come by. We would love to just introduce you to the modality, and always available over the phone. But there is also organizations out there. One of my favorites that we belong to is the International Hyperbaric Association. Their URL is ihausa.org, and they do hold annual conferences. Speaking of, in the next few weeks in Carlsbad, California, they're hosting their 4-day conference. So that is coming up, and we go every year and we learn, and there's a lot of people in the industry, many doctors that specialize in it. A few of my favorites that are worth checking out would be Dr. Paul Harsh. And you can actually find him at HBOT.com, Dr. Daniel Amen. He's all about healing the brain. And what I love about him is he also relates, we have a big mental health issue going on in the world.
Yes,
that's a pretty hot topic. And his approach to mental health is that it's actually brain health. And so let's look at how is the brain functioning? What is it missing? And a huge part of his protocol is adding in hyperbaric oxygen for healing the brain too. So,
I love that.
All over the board. Yeah. So there's a lot of resources.
Hey there. This is Michelle from the Jane team. I'd love to tell you a quick story of Jane's beginnings. Back in 2011, our co-founder, Allie, looked high and low for practice management software she could use in her own multidisciplinary clinic. It was a bit of a Goldilocks situation. She'd find a program that was beautifully designed, but couldn't quite handle her scheduling. Or she'd land on a program that could schedule like a dream, but the layout and design were stuck in 1985. So she teamed up with Trevor, our other co-founder, to build something that was just right. Easy to use, nice to look at, and genuinely helpful. Since those early days, Jane's grown a lot. With online booking, scheduling, charting and billing, and a whole host of other capabilities, we've built a software that's helping solo practitioners and multi-practitioner clinics all over the globe. We'd love to meet you and see if Jane is the right fit for your practice. Head on over to jane.app to connect with us. You can also mention the Wellness Center Creators Podcast when you sign up for a 1-month grace period on us. We'll talk to you soon.
So let's talk about your clinic a bit more. So Inlight Hyperbarics, we do have a lot of local listeners on the podcast. So what makes Inlight special, right? What do you all do differently than other clinics?
We have a lot of fun. Definitely have raised the bar in the fun department. But no, really, a lot of clients, their feedback when they come to us after going to other clinics is the feeling of just the minute they walk in our doors, they have this feeling of, I'm supposed to be here. I'm already healing just by being in the environment. We love the whole tropical feel, that warm, sun is always shining type of feel. And over the years, I'd say in the last just 3 years, we've grown to a tribe of 9 of us. So I have 7 staff, and everybody knows how to run the chambers. Everybody's trained and very inviting, very knowledgeable. Clients just love to be there. We take our time with everybody. We really take the time to listen, hear their pain out, hear their story, and we're just kind of along the journey every step of the way. So along with just, it's always about the client first, and people are very important to us. And we've kind of created this sense of community as well. And not all clinics kind of have that feeling. You're not just there just to see the practitioner. You actually get to meet other people, that are going through their journeys, and people meet, they talk, support each other. Yeah. So community, we've learned a lot about that these last few years, and how when you're missing it, you're missing community. It's a huge part of healing and being human.
Absolutely. And I think
So,
most wellness providers that are opening wellness centers, one of their top goals is to create community. So it's helpful to hear how you're doing that, and I see that. I'm right down the street from you, and I see that happening for you all. So I do get curious about hyperbaric oxygen in like the age limit. Can kids do this? Can animals do this? Can you go in the chamber together? Can partners go in together?
great questions. So there is no age limit. You can put a 1 day newborn baby in, twisting my words, all the way to your 101-year-old grandma. Obviously, everything, all the safety concerns we watch, as far as the two things that we really ask about are your ears. So if you've had any recent ear trauma or any recent collapsed lung, otherwise it's safe for everybody. And we go through all of those, we check all the boxes and whatnot. Kids can go in, and it's great for, as an example, kids on the spectrum, kids with disability, like learning disabilities, things like that. It's amazing. Parents can go in with their kids. We also provide date dives. So especially in our hard shell chambers that are a little larger and comfortable in size, it fits two people pretty easily. So yeah, what were the other questions? Oh, animals. It's amazing for animals. I dream one day of opening up a space for pets and their people. Because we can't offer a hyperbaric, treatment for animals. We're not set up for that. It's humans only. And with my personal chamber, I do bring in my dog with me. And he used to suffer he's a little guy, he's a Chiweenie, and he used to suffer with pretty consistent, regular seizures. So mild epilepsy. And since I started taking him into the chamber with me about 5 years ago, his seizures have completely gone away.
Wow.
Yeah. So he got his healing, and hopefully a lot more quality, years of life ahead of him too.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So what's next for Inlight? What's next for your clinic? And what do you think is next for this industry of hyperbarics?
Well, I think it's big. I have said the last few years, I feel like we're just kind of on the verge of really taking off, for people to really even hear about it, right? The awareness just hasn't been there. So that's been kind of our biggest goal, is just getting the word out, making it accessible, getting it in the hands of your average home user, rather than people thinking it's just for celebrities or professional athletes. We're trying to kind of change that stigma a little bit. I would love to see it in every household. I would love families to have it as a go-to if they're sick or injured, or just prevention. The whole anti-aging concept is huge. And I say anti-aging, it's not just for diminishing those fine lines and wrinkles, which we're all striving to do anyway, but it's the internal aging. With hyperbarics, the more that you do, the more your body naturally produces energy, like collagen, stem cell production, things that keep us young and vibrant and feeling good, between our brain and our heart and our gut and our joints, just all over the board, feeling energized and younger. So I just really want it to be kind of a normal household name. And our clinic itself, I think physically we aren't planning on really growing necessarily, because we are just trying to create our foundation right now. We hired our first general manager about a month ago, which is really exciting. Thank you. Huge step for us. But that's going to allow not only for us to really grow internally and get stronger, but also I dream of opening up another destination. So more of a tropical environment, kind of like a retreat people travel to style of healing, and really getting it into the hands of home users, like I've said 100 times, and other practitioners. So making it well known for other clinics to incorporate it as well.
Wonderful. And it sounds like you have sort of a special offering coming up this summer. Do you want to tell the listeners about that? Is your Splash into Summer offer?
Yes, ma'am. So we actually have two offers that we are in the works of creating. One is the Anti-Aging Challenge. So that's a 6-week challenge that incorporates hard shell hyperbarics, light therapy. So we do have a light bed and infrared sauna and a fun little sunlit facial with Edna as well. So that's one of our offerings. And then the other one that I'm really excited about is our Splash into Summer 12-week, I guess I could call it a challenge. So typically when I talk about hyperbarics, when you really want to get quick change to your healing, you do want to do daily treatments for a window of time. But with the 12-week offering, it allows somebody to come in for 12 weeks, one session a week, and getting that experience of hyperbarics and kind of just incorporating it into their self-care routine, just staying active this summer, taking care of yourself. It can be easy to just kind of let that go when you're wanting to be out in the sunshine all the time, just hanging out, which is great and healthy. I absolutely love the sun. I'm a huge advocate for it, but just incorporating other things to kind of keep you mindful and grounded this summer. So the 12-week challenge is actually a steal of a deal in price. It's $444, which takes down, I think it's like $37 a session. So cheap as we've ever gone. And on top of that, we do have other offerings. We have memberships and other ways of getting experience with the therapy as well.
And I imagine people can find you on your website?
Yes. So right now we are in the flux of changing things a little bit. And a couple years ago, we had a little bit of an identity crisis. So our URL doesn't match our name, but right now it's nextlevelhealingusa.com. We're also really active on Instagram. So you can find us in Light Hyperbarics, Instagram, Facebook. And we also have a YouTube channel as well with quite a few videos on there.
Thanks so much for being here, Caitlin.
I hope that answers some of your questions and I had a good time. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for listening to the Wellness Center Creators Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please visit our website at wellnesscentercreators.com for more show notes and additional episodes. Plus, if you do have time, please subscribe to the podcast and please consider rating and reviewing the show. That will help other people find us. Thanks again for listening, and we'll catch you next time on the Wellness Center Creators Podcast.